Hello everybody, my name is Tapiwa Lauren with Run for Office, and sitting here with me today is...
Lauren Burrows, and my pronouns are she, her.
Well, thank you very much for participating in this very great conversation. So I've got a few questions to ask you here, and feel free to give examples if you do have any. Yeah. Why should the ACB community in general rally behind Project 3000 and the work of registering to vote?
I think that our communities are underrepresented in positions of power, which means that often our voices are unheard, and issues that impact us directly, and not only issues that help our communities thrive, but also issues that are protective, that help us survive, are at times ignored, right? And so I think that representation is one of the first things that we can do to be a part of the conversation, and then further that we need to be a part of the structures that make decisions about how we use our shared resources.
So as a follow-up question to that then, do you think that change happens when we vote?
I think that change can happen when we vote. I think that the alternative is not being able to vote. And that is, I think, a harmful and scary scenario when we don't have the opportunity to participate in civic engagement. And I think that voting is one way that change can happen, knowing that voting is part of a system where change happens really slowly. And I think that if we vote in the right people to represent us, people who actually care about our communities, people who care about people over profit, people who want like environmental sustainability, people who support education and healthcare and housing and the things that are important to our communities, that change can happen quicker.
That's great. So in other words, what you're saying is civic engagement is not a spectator sport, it is a participation sport. Everyone has to participate. You can just sit on the sidelines and cheer from the sidelines.
Yeah, and a lot of people actually don't participate. In the last provincial election, I think it was like 45% of people in Ontario who actually voted, and the current party in power only got, I think, something like 40-something% of the vote. So less than 20% of Ontarians get to decide how the entire province is run. I know that racialized communities are underrepresented in a lot of spaces anyways, and so it's really important that we show up and be a part of that conversation. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So nowadays we live in the livelihood of social media. Do you think that social media increases or it decreases civic participation?
I think that it can, because it can remind people that today is the day to vote, which is like really great. I also think that sometimes it discourages people from voting because it makes voting seem really complicated, or it makes issues seem really controversial, and sometimes people can get really overwhelmed, or sometimes people will replace social media engagement with civic engagement, and those are two different things. And so I think that there are lots of benefits to social media, sharing information about like when and how to vote, spreading awareness about candidates, sharing things about your own perspective and how politics impact us, and that like what we vote for impacts our every single day, right? Like the schools we go to, how much money we're paid, the food we have access to, the rights that we're given, right? I think that social media can be a great place to spread awareness, and I think it's a great place to learn about amazing organizations like yours, but it's different, I think, than becoming civically engaged, which to me really means like also being in your community and showing up, whether that is to vote or to engage in like different ways. So
So as a follow-up question, and you mentioned about the low numbers for voter turnout at the last election. Do you think that then people should be forced to participate, or it should still remain a choice?
I think that choice is really important to me. And I think that there are ways to increase voter participation that don't involve forcing people to go to the polls. And that I believe people should have the choice to consciously object to participating in political structures. But I think that we should encourage people to vote. I think that we should, despite the challenges, invest in civic engagement, invest in our civic duty, and be a part of those structures for decision making as much as we can. And if we don't like them, we should vote to change them. And and I think that what we can do is we can try and make it easier for people to vote, and that there are a lot of barriers to voting, whether that's people don't know when elections are, they don't know where is the best place to vote, they don't have a ride that day, they feel like they can't take the day off of work because of pressures, they feel that they're disengaged, they don't know enough about the candidates. Like, whatever the barrier is, I think we can decrease that for people and see more representation, so that 19% of Ontarians don't get to decide for all of us how we share our resources, you know.
Man, I like that. Well, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you taking part in this very important conversation.
Awesome, thank you. And thank you for your work. Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, nailed it.